Netflix?
No!
Is it HBO?
No!
Is it Disney?
No!
Is it Apple TV?
No!
Then it must be Tubi. Tell them they're streaming.
Welcome to Tell Them They're Streaming. Hey, my name is Robert, and sitting beside me is Australian comedian who, whenever listening to Audible, puts his reading glasses on. This is Richie Booksy Goodacre. Hey, Richie, how are you?
Yeah, I am very silly. Yeah, but look, yeah, I'm very funny, but I'm not known for me smarts. But look, my ignorance is very entertaining for everybody else, so that's all good. Yeah, look, but my reading glasses look schmick. You should see them sometime.
I would love to see them. How's your week been, mate?
Oh yeah, okay, just yeah, just chilling. I don't know if you noticed, Robert, at this time it's very hot, very very hot and very muggy. So
Well, I'm fashionably cool because I've got the lovely feeling of air conditioning going across my face.
I've got I got the fan full blast, and look, if it wasn't in this podcast, I might be fully naked, but yeah, I have to, because it's social etiquette. I have to wear clothes. Yeah, clothes are just
Construct.
they're just thread they're just prisons made out of thread and cotton. You know what I mean? Just,
Well, you've got interesting lighting there today, which makes you actually look cold. It looks like you're in the middle of winter at your place, but that's all cool.
Oh yeah. Look, so it's a new computer I've got on, and I'm just trying to work out the lighting here. Like before we went on air, it was very very white. It was very bright. But look, I got it down to looks like coldness. So that's just what we're rocking with today.
Well, the spooky feeling of your lighting will go well with the film we are doing this week, and that is The Bloodbath at the House of Death from 1984. Tubi synopsis is when 6 scientists arrive at a mysterious manor to investigate eerie occurrences surrounding a massacre from years earlier, things go a bit haywire. IMDb has something similar, but it's 6 scientists investigate a strange phenomenon at the creepy Headstone Manor, the site of a mysterious massacre years earlier that took the lives of 18 guests in one night. It turns out that the house is the place of a satanic cult led by sinister monk who plans to kill the scientists who are inhabiting this house of Satan. So yeah, kids film. To start off with, I thought this was quite interesting that Michael McIntyre, who is the son of the director Ray Cameron, voiced the E.T. monologue at the very end of the film. He was only 6 years of age at this time. Also, Michael McIntyre met Billy Connolly, husband of Pamela Stevenson. Michael brought up this film, to which Billy simply responded, "Pamela has been in a lot of shit movies."
Didn't really acknowledge that maybe Michael McIntyre had some sort of connection to it.
Maybe he didn't know. I don't know, but I just thought it was funny how Billy responded.
I also think it's funny and also cruel that I think this is the second movie in a row that's made you say the word phenomenon that I can't say either.
Yeah, I can't say phenomenon. I got monomen at the end.
Phenomenon.
How do you say it?
Phenomenon.
Phenomenon. I don't know.
Phenomenon. That word.
Headstone Manor was portrayed by North Hall. North or Nothaw People love it when I spell things out on the podcast and get you to tell me what it's actually called.
N-O-T-A, you say N-O-T-A-W.
North AW. So Nothaw. Northaw.
North or yeah.
Northaw Place in Northaw and Cuffley, Hertfordshire, England, UK.
All right.
Vincent Price, theatrical films. He has the word house in a lot of his theatrical films. So I thought I'd gather some of them together. The House of Wax. Oh, sorry,
Oh, yeah.
no, not the House of Wax. That's the second one. The House of the Seven Gables from 1940. The House of Wax from 1953. House on the Haunted Hill from 1959. The Fall of the House of Usher from 1960. House of 1,000 Dolls, 1967. I love this title. The Hilarious House of Frightenstein, 1971.
That sounds like a movie we need to watch.
Yes, it does. Madhouse from 1974. House of the Long Shadows in 1983. And, of course, this one, Bloodbath at the House of Death from 1984.
So it's unfortunate. It seems like they get less prolific as his career goes on.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, he couldn't maintain that standard. That's unfortunate because he's a good actor.
Vincent Price was renowned for refusing to use coarse language in films. But in this film, Vincent Price swears. And apparently he allowed that to happen for comic effect.
Okay. We'll get to it. It's pretty funny scene.
The age of the satanic priest, the sinister man, played by said Vincent Price, is 700 years of age. The film, I believe, is to be a parody of the old Hammer films that were very big in England in the late 60s and early 70s and all that sort of stuff. We'll talk about this a lot more throughout the film, but here's the body count. It's 18. 1 was hanged. 1 was blown up. 2 were axe murdered. 2 had their throats slit. 2 were struck by lightning. 4 people were skewered in the same bed. 6 were found in a deep freezer wrapped in cling wrap after having been shot.
And if you don't remember that, don't worry. They sing it in the form of Partridge in a Pear Tree, which is very.
I'll hopefully be able to get that little bit of video in because it's very funny.
One was hanged, 2 were axed, and 6 were frozen to death. Charge, gentlemen, please, come on now.
We're up to the cast and crew. First off, the director is Ray Cameron, and the only other film I could find that he did was the new Kenny Everett Video Show from 1982.
Yeah, so he does a lot of like I think that Kim and Kenny Everett are good, friends. So that most of his work involves him with the Kenny Everett show, and then Naughty Video, as you said. And yeah, they also wrote a TV show that was pretty popular back in the day called Joker's Wild, which is it's a panel show that would get comedians on, and then the comedians have to joke about a topic that's decided by the host. Yeah, it's very similar to the segment that they do on Mock the Week that just finished up, where like it's just a random wheel of sort of topics, and then someone's got to come up with a set on that topic. So I think they did definitely got inspiration from Joker's Wild. So that's probably where his sort of fame comes in. But it's also written by, I mean, you'll probably get it. What surprised me is another sort of prolific comedian that's on panel shows a lot. It's written by Ray Cameron, but also written by Barry Cryer, who's a comedy legend in Britain. So yeah.
Yeah, and you were saying to me earlier the way he passed.
Oh yeah. So there's big conjecture that so there's like on the actual IMDb page, it lists as he officially caused death as a heart attack in 1993, I believe. He was born in 1938, died in 93. Yeah, born in Canada, died in Los Angeles. But
Also, he's not
then
English.
yeah, he's not even English.
I
Yeah.
thought he was English. Yeah.
So that might make Michael like McIntyre not like maybe he's Canadian English or whatever.
Mm.
I'm not sure where he's actually born. But yeah, but then like in like 2014, his widow Holly, I think her name is, yeah, came out and said, it wasn't actually a heart attack. He he shot himself.
Oh,
So,
shippers.
but it still lists but it's still like on our side it still says cause death heart attack. But yeah, she's sort of obviously I feel like she'd know more than these sites would. So I would assume maybe it is probably the latter of the which sucks. But yeah.
Yeah, maybe there was some reason why they didn't want to release that information at the time. Don't know. But yeah, very,
Yeah.
very sad. Very sad either way, but extremely sad if he took his own life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like of course Kenny Everett's in the film, and he died a fairly young man from AIDS. So yeah, bit sad with all that. But let's get into some more happier stuff. As you mentioned, the writer Ray Cameron was one of them, and he also wrote a movie called Kerriman the Movie in 1980. And Barry Cryer was the other one, and he wrote a movie called Kenny Everett's Christmas Carol in 1985. The cast consists of pre-mentioned Kenny Everett, and pretty much this was his really only movie that we're doing today, but he did a long-running television show called the Kenny Everett Television Show from 91 and 88. Also a very famous DJ in England. Some say if it wasn't for him, Queen wouldn't have been as famous as they ever were, because he's the one that, against all rules, played the whole Bohemian Rhapsody on radio, where all the radio stations all said, "Nah, it's too long." So thank you, Kenny, for doing that for us.
I think like Queen have quite a couple of people in like pop culture. They got you've got your Kenny Everett, obviously, that made like damn prolific with the radio play, but also I think Queen had gone off for a while. And then I think the Bohemian Rhapsody became back in popularity because of Wayne's World.
Yes, a lot later on, but yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
like,
yeah, it's interesting.
Kenny Everett and Freddie Mercury actually became very good friends. And I think Freddie went to Kenny's funeral. And sadly, of
Okay.
course, Freddie died in a very similar way.
That was similar way, yeah.
Back to death. What are we doing? Well, it's
I
called
know.
it's called
It
House
is
of Deaths.
it is appropriate, yeah.
The great Vincent Price, who's also no longer with us, but he stayed to a lot older age. And I chose this one for the film that he did, and it's a classic. It's 1990s Edward Scissorhands. He was in Pamela Stevenson. Pamela Stevenson was in Superman 3, 1983. Pamela Stevenson was also, I think she was born in New Zealand, but lived and says that she's Australian. And lived around in an area where I went to school in. So yeah. But she later on went and married Billy Connolly, which we were talking about earlier. And
I like the tone you like. Oh, she went and married Billy Connolly like it was like a downturn in her career. Like no, she married up. She married one of the most famous comedians of all time. Yeah, just as well.
and now
Yeah,
she's
so,
a quite a successful psychologist.
yeah.
So yeah, Superman 3 is what she was in, and that was 1983. Probably not the most liked Superman film out of the of those first three
Look,
movies.
I mean, look, it's not the. I mean, if you're taking first three, yeah, but it's not. Look. She can hold her hat. She can hold her hat by saying, "Hey, at least I'm not in the worst Superman movie," which is the next one, which is Quest for Peace.
As a kid, I loved them all though. So, Gareth Hunt, another English comedian of that time, was in a movie called The Riddle in 2007, and Don Warrington was in a film called You, Me, and Him in 2017. All right, Richie, it's now time for film chat.
Film chat.
Creepy music, and an unknown person sneaks through the bushes and looks at the Headstone Manor. So yeah, this is the beginning of the film. We're not too sure who it is. I think later on we do find out who it is, but at the time we didn't. And our first bit of slapstick comedy happens here, Richie.
So when he's in the bushes, he's like, "Oh shit!" Yeah. I got fully.
He appears through the bush, like pushes one of the branches back, looks at the house, lets go of the branch, and comes back and slaps him in the face.
It's him in the face. Goes, "Oh shit!" So yeah, it sets the tone. Like, okay, cool. We're doing this horror. Horror parody thing. I'm on board for that. So yeah. So I've always sort of had a soft spot for like things like Naked Gun and all that stuff, just spoofs of stuff. So yeah, I was on board with that. As soon as that gag hit, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm on board.
Yeah, I when I'm watching the film, I thought of something like Flying High or Aeroplane, as it's known everywhere else but Australia. But early on, I do feel that those comedies that were done in America were much more funnier with the slapstick than this film was. But anyway, we'll get into that a bit later on. And I'm not having to go at the film. The film's funny, but I just thought it like something like Aeroplane / Flying High was superior to this sort of comedy. Satanic monks walk into a house with all sorts of weapons. All the people that were in the manor were killed. And I mentioned earlier on how they were killed. We'll come up with a bit of that also later on. A good start, I thought, to a classic comedy horror. What did you think, Richie?
Yeah, no, it was good. Yeah, like especially, the kills are very in your face, but I thought, it's like, but I liked it. I like that. Okay, like we'll get into it, but one, they have like, like what one was, we'll get into everybody, but like two were struck by lightning. How that can't be attributed to him? This is a natural.
Well, there's a line later on in the film or something. You can't be struck by lightning twice or something or other, and somebody goes, well, it sort of did.
It sort of did, but you can't be like, oh, someone got murdered, they got struck by lightning. No, it's just like murdered by God.
Well, no, it's murdered by Satan.
Murdered by Satan. There you go.
There you go.
But there you go. I'm silly. But yeah. So that was interesting. And then it was a good way to start off the movie, I thought, and just full on bloodbath, as the title is.
We see the authorities checking out the crime scene, and this crime scene had so many japes and humor with the cleanup. And was that Barry Cryer playing the policeman with the blood dripping on his head?
Yeah, well, I think it was. Yeah,
it looked like him.
Yeah.
Dr. Lucas Manville, played by Kenny Everett, and Dr. Barbara Coyle, played by Pamela Stevenson, are traveling by car on a secret government mission to a house that is showing strange radioactive readings. I did find this funny when Kenny Everett or Manville explained the whole thing that was going on in that one sentence, and it had really no context. They were talking about where they were going and if they were on the right part of the highway. And is this 55 or 42 or something? And it's 55. And the reason we're on 55 is, and then he goes, we're great scientists traveling to a house with radioactive readings. And it was very funny.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
What?
That road sign back there. I think it said the B2067.
Did it?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. Because if it did, then we're on the wrong road again.
Oh, I wouldn't worry. We'll be all right.
We're supposed to be on the A5027.
We'll keep an eye out. We'll see another sign. Or we could even stop and ask somebody.
This is stupid.
That's not stupid at all. We're dedicated scientists. And there have been strange, inexplicable radioactive readings picked up in this area, which have been traced to a particular house. And we are on a secret government mission with other scientists to investigate this bizarre phenomenon. It's as simple as that.
Yes, but
I think I guess parodying the unnatural dialogue or the disposition, the exposition that horror movies sometimes do. Where fully explaining the whole plot within one sentence. Yeah, I thought it was I saw what they were doing. It was quite funny.
They stop off at a pub for directions. They spot a strange mark on the wall and notice some of the patrons have tattoos, mostly on their hand, of the same mark. A blind man who was on his glasses, and a dog also had this mark on top of his head.
Did they tattoo the dog or just like draw it on him?
Look, are you saying as in the plot, or as in what did they do for the dog for the film?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess both.
I don't think they would have tattooed on it if it was just for the film.
Yeah, that would be a bit weird.
But I think it's supposed to be a tattoo in the story.
Yeah.
And this is where they have a discussion at the bar about how many people and how they died in the house.
Well, first, like he came in because he wanted to know directions to Manor Hill, and every time he mentioned Manor Hill or whatever, they went, everyone stopped, and then initially everyone stopped, and then he realized his fly was undone. So
Headstone Manor, yeah.
Headstone Manor, yeah, sorry. He realized his fly was undone, but they kept like pausing every time he said Headstone Manor, and then they're at the bar, and then there's a debate on how many people were killed, or like 18, but then they had to do math. It was fun. Yeah, you can explain.
No, you're doing a good job.
Okay. Well then, so they're talking to the barkeep about the tragedies, about the kidney murders, and then and that's when they're like, like you probably got the thing up there, like 4 died in a bed.
One was hanged.
One was hanged.
One was blown up.
One blew up.
2 were axe murdered.
2 axe murdered, and 2 were struck by lightning.
And 2 had their throats slit. 2 were struck by lightning. 4 people were skewered in the same bed. 6 were found in the deep freezer, wrapped in cling wrap after being shot.
Yeah, and then it was like, no, that's 19. And then like in order to remember it, they just came up. They just broke out into song, but it was in the style of Partridge in a Pear Tree, and it was quite funny. Well, that's about it.
I thought that was quite funny as well, and I will try to add it in so people can see that at home. The next thing is they leave the pub, and Manville finds the bar lady dead in the bushes.
and this is funny too, because I think, and then obviously if you find a dead body, you first thing you do is like, oh cool, I'll notify the authorities, and so he does. And first of all, he goes, this is what's the place again? So
Headstone Manor.
Headstone Manor. Yeah. So it's like, oh yeah, hey, I gotta, there's a murder at Headstone, Oh no, he's like, I want to report a dead body, and then she goes, what kind of dead body?
Yes.
He goes, I don't know, upside down one. And then he's like, I'm where are you? I'm at Headstone Manor, and then she hangs up, and then he calls back, not he calls another person, and then they seem helpful, but no, they're maybe the in it.
Yeah, we see the marks on their hands, the tattoos of that mark on their hands. So, you know what? How much do you think this film influenced Hot Fuzz?
I think it. I mean, I think it probably did a bit. Yeah, I did get Hot Fuzz vibes from this movie, or just Cornetto trilogy vibes in general.
Yeah,
from this film is very similar humor, and maybe I don't know. Look up maybe Simon Pegg and Nick Frost really influenced by Kenny Everett, and yeah.
Oh, I mean, I'd say so. They grew up in the era of Kenny Everett on TV a lot, and he was a bit of a comedic darling in England during the 80s. So it wouldn't doubt me at all if there was some form of influence. There was this really cool rotating ornament that depict all the murders that happened in that very house. all 18 murders were depicted in this ornament that was just spinning around. I thought, wow, that's pretty cool.
And I mean, it was very obvious what it was. You know, Kenny, what it was, Manville, whatever, very, very astute. Like, oh, this is depicting every murder. Yes. Yeah.
Well,
the
next plot line is we find out that the bar lady is not dead. It was only a model made by the sinister man, Vincent Price. The house is to be purged again of the new guests, the scientists. Basically, all the scientists are now in the house. I think Manville might be doing a take on Dr. Strangelove with the limp and the German accent.
Yeah. There was a lot of nods to other kind of movies in this one. Especially that. I thought it was definitely I couldn't attribute it to Dr. Strangelove, but there's definitely I figured it was a take on somebody here. That was
Well, not only was there nods to other movie, but there was definitely a lot of nods to music, horror music in the film. Like there was, I'm not too sure how this works out, but I felt like the first Nightmare on Elm Street music was used in this film, but I don't know if 84. Well, I think they both came out in 84, didn't they? So I don't know how that would work.
yeah. But there's definitely obviously like I think we talked earlier about there's a scene where like it has Jaws like music and this dude's like kind of suspicious, he's got a knife and he goes towards the noise and opens the door and it's just Manville playing a cello on the toilet.
It also reminds me similar of a Monty Python sketch as well. So you can see.
I got Monty Python vibes all the way through this movie. Just how silly it was there.
Manville and two others go down to the cellar to find food in the freezer. They find a meat pie that we saw glow before they entered.
Yeah.
Now there's a scene where Coyle has sex with a ghost. Richie, you're our sexpert. What was going on here?
Passion.
Passion.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know. Like, again, because if she didn't, it raises questions, doesn't it? Because if I mean, she wouldn't know the ghost is that. I don't know. If she was it. You know what I'm trying to say?
I think I do. Yeah. But I mean, the joke was she had sex with a ghost.
She had sex with it, yeah.
And without getting too crude, she enjoyed it.
She enjoyed it. Because there's also like it probably ties into this because she was probably starving for good sex because there was that thing where like he's earlier where he's hallucinating. Or like where he's like when he was a surgeon or something, and then like he took out the wrong part of this patient,
That was
and then
weird.
and then people are laughing, and he goes, and then he woke up and he goes, like they're all laughing. I'm a joke. There was some joke where it's like, but you're not good at sex. Like because she was unsatisfied because I think maybe he fell asleep while out having sex. So like it would explain why maybe not wanted the sex with the ghost. It's like she's probably you should probably be into it because it's like she's probably been longing for that kind of pleasure. I don't know.
That's spooky sex. They eat the meat pie. The sinister man goes up in flames while trying to light a bonfire at midnight. This was happening outside while they were in the kitchen to summon Lucifer.
Fire is burning! No, it's me that's burning, you schmuck! I'm on fire! Well, where are you going? Oh, this is just great. The Exalted One is about to arrive and I'm on fire. I'm going to miss the whole goddamn thing.
All the scientists dressed as monks come out. Look, Richie, this is where I start getting really confused with what's happening. So you're going to have to help me through this part. All the scientists dressed as monks come out of the ground in front of the other monks. The monks start exploding.
Yeah, and then like and then like the other scientists are like down like downstairs, and they're like, "Could he?" Manville goes, "I heard a noise," and then he's like, and then like Pamela Stevenson's character goes, "Oh, sounds like monks exploding."
Yes.
Oh, monster!
I can see! I can see! I can see!
What the devil was that?
Sounds like a lot of monks exploding.
Yeah. So this was all happening while their normal selves were still in the kitchen in the house.
Yeah, it was like a duplicate. It's like a yeah, like they're getting possessed. Where yeah, I don't know, like like an evil version of themselves will like spell out and like and like kill the normal version. I don't know. There was a scene where like I can't remember the character's name, but like he had just seen his friend like get killed while he's on the phone. Yeah, and then and then yeah the version of him comes up from behind him and chokes him, and then he goes, "Does this count as suicide?"
Yes.
It's me.
So yeah, as Richie was saying, the scientists dressed as monks are now in their normal clothes and they head for the house. While their normal selves search the house, this is so confusing. Their normal selves search the house, their evil selves following them instead. Themselves, I think. Evil Mandrake kills good Mandrake. Same thing happens with the other scientists as well. They used all the horror tropes to kill the rest of them. Teddy bear coming alive, and stabby, being very stabby. A literal bloodbath then gets sucked, and then the bloke gets sucked down the toilet. A mole on the arm comes alive and bites his throat. And a lightsaber?
Lightsaber. Why not? It was probably a huge thing at the time. So why not a lightsaber? There was one. I think there was one scene where they're like, I think after they're normal cells. I think it's a normal cell. They're in a cave, and then like it was a really spooky cave, with like spiders and stuff. And then Pamela Stevenson goes, "Ah, a bat!" And a cricket bat falls down, and not an actual, like not a. That was funny.
Manville and Coyle find a room with the mark of a tomb. Hang on, isn't Manville dead? Confused again. Oh, it's the evil Manville. And Coyle's the good Coyle? Anyway, who knows? So basically, cutting a long story short, the monks are actually alien and the house has been cleansed. Okay, can you tell me what all that meant?
No. Look, I enjoyed watching it, but I was like, once we saw double, it was hard to work out who was real. It was a genuine one, who was the other one, and I don't know if they did a great job explaining that. I don't know. I thought maybe that Dr. Coyle was the last one to go. That's why you kind of saw the normal version. But I don't know. Maybe I heard her normal version, but I don't know if that that was the case. So yeah, I think she might have been the last one to go. And then like there was this like image in the sky of like, what is it, like someone doing like a kid doing it. And that's where you heard the Michael McIntyre ET thing, but it's like someone doing a like backstroke or something.
Yeah.
Or is it like, okay, that's weird. That's yeah. Sometimes parody works. Sometimes it's just like referencing stuff to reference stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, well, please watch this film and write in and tell us what it all meant. because we don't know. All right, it's now a time for scores and thoughts.
Scores on that what? Yeah, like I mean, as far as a overall movie, it was made very well. It's probably made better than a lot of movies we're going to review and have reviewed. So yeah, it's very complicated, like, well acted, especially, good comedic time, good jokes. For the most part, there was some jokes about, like, farts, and there was there was a joke about the F word for homosexuals that probably wouldn't hold up today.
No, yeah.
But yeah, like I mean, I enjoyed the film. So as an overall film, I'd probably give it 3.5. But as a Tubi film, because it's not really that well, it's pretty well made and everything. So I don't know. I'll be nice to say 3, because it's still sort of in the vein of what we talked about. It's still fun. It's a lot of fodder here, but it's just not as kind of like comically bad or anything like that. It's well made, competent movie.
Yeah, I slightly disagree with you in the sense that I felt most of the jokes you could see coming.
Yeah.
So I wasn't surprised with a lot of the humor, but it was good humor. I did laugh a number of times throughout the film. I'm going to give it a normal score of 3. And I'm going to give it a Tubi score of 3. I think I'm gonna just be equal, because yeah, but a really fun film to watch. Please watch it, and please let us know what you think.
And now it's time for Let's Get Quizzical.
Quizzical. I want to get quizzical. Yo, yo, yo. Let's get a quizzical.
So yeah, I mean, I'm the one that's kind of led the charge here, but with singing. That's because I'm not in the hot seat this week. It's good old Robert. I'm doing the quiz. So
Whoa.
yeah, let's see if I can stump you.
You probably will. I'm not very good at quizzes.
Like that's the confidence I'm after.
It's also I
Yeah.
say those things just in case I go bad, and they go, "Well, I told you." But if
Yeah,
I go
yeah.
really good, then you go, "Oh, look, he's really good," because he's usually not good at quizzes.
Yeah, it's always good to have an out.
Yes.
Yeah, always. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, look. I mean, I didn't realize that. That thing about Vincent Price and all the movies and houses. I could have done that. That would have been creative. But I went more broader, and I think the Bloodbath, which we watched, is more a horror comedy. So this is just basically they're all. I've got a whole bunch of what movies are deemed horror comedies, and you just got to guess whether they're below 50 or above 50. So it's certified fresh or rotten, and extra points if you can also guess the actual number, and extra points if you get it bang on the money or even close.
Is
So
this through Rotten Tomatoes, is it?
yeah.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, we go. So yeah, you get the gist. So yeah, pretty
Alrighty.
simple.
Can I just
Yeah.
say, Richie Goodacre is one of the best persons at guessing I have ever met in my whole entire life. He's amazing how close he can get. And most of the time, it's just a guess. It's not that
It's
he's
just a guess.
intelligent. It's not that
Okay.
he knows stuff. It's just that he's really good at guessing.
So what you're saying is I just stumble my way through life.
I think I just threw you under the bus, and you're about to ask me questions.
So yeah, throw me under the bus. But and I could probably, because I'm good at guessing, I could probably guess where that bus is going to, what number bus it is.
Yep. You'd
Yeah,
be able
yeah.
to do that, and you'd probably get it right,
Yeah. Cool. But anyway, so there's a couple ones I know you've watched, so maybe semi recently, but we'll start with one that's sort of a cult classic, if you will. That doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna, reflect in these scores, but we'll see what happens. So the first one on the docket I got here. So is Slumber Party Massacre above 50 or below 50?
Oh wow. Okay. I'm going to say it's below 50.
Do you want to guess the actual
I will.
percentage?
But is that a yes or no? I got it right.
Okay, you're right. It is below 50, yes.
I'm going to say 42.
Man, you were close.
What?
45.
Oh, wow. Yay, that's a win for me. Whoa.
All right. And and the next one is also a classic, a very iconic B grade film, a classic horror comedy, if you will, is uh, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes,
I
above 50 or
I
below 50?
I was a late person getting to this movie, but I've only watched it about middle of last year. And man, you need to watch it. It's like I can't even really explain about the humor in it, and it is very B grade, but it's very humorous and it's just wacko and it's brilliant and everything. You've got to watch it. I'm gonna say it's below 50,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got it
and
right there.
and I'm gonna guess it is 36.
So you are not you're not far off with your guesses. 27.
Oh wow. Oh cool.
Yeah. And again, I mean, this is not like eventually we'll get off B grade territory, but I thought of this movie, so it's another iconic B grade movie. Another one I just haven't watched, and I need to get around to watching it. Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
I have watched this film, and
Uh,
it is awesome.
yeah, so yeah,
It's
above
like
or below 50.
it's sort of hard to choose because like if you're choosing it as a proper movie, it's definitely below 50. But is there enough crazy clown lovers out there that actually voted higher? Not too sure how it exactly works, but I'll go below 50.
You're actually wrong in
Whoa,
this
so I
regard.
should have gone
Yeah.
with what I was thinking.
And would you, knowing that it's over 50, did you want to guess what the score would be anyway?
58.
This is crazy. 76.
Whoa, my mind is blowing. That is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, it's probably the last sort of B grade territory, but yeah, I put this on there. Probably the most famous trauma film, Toxic Avenger. Is that above or below 50?
They've got most of the Toxic Avengers on Tubi, actually. I would say, once again, below 50.
Again, wrong.
Wow, you're blowing my mind, Richie Goodacre. I don't know why I keep on calling you by your both names, but anyway. I should
Yeah.
call you by your full name, Richie Alexander, Brian, Stephen, Craig, Watson, Samantha Goodacre.
Yes, Samantha.
Okay, I'm gonna rank it. It can't be too above 50, so I'll rank it 58.
70.
70?
Yeah.
What's going on here? What's all the? I mean, we should be with these people. These are our sort of people. We should
Yeah.
have them over for dinner.
Yeah. Yeah. Sort of getting into sort of, my territory in terms of what films I sort of grew up with. The next one, the first scary movie.
Okay, I have seen the first scary movie. And I've seen the first two. The second one I didn't really enjoy, but the first one there was some enjoyment in it. So I'm going to say it's above 50.
Yeah, and what?
I'm going to
And
say 66.
it's just above 50. It's 51.
Oh wow, that is only just above 50.
Yeah. And sort of a more sort of a movie that sort of achieved sort of cult status in in the last 10 years or so. One that really surprised me because I don't think it came out at cinemas. But what I don't know if you've seen this movie, but I think I've told you about it. What is Tucker and Dale vs. Evil above below or above 50?
It is on my list to watch. So I should have watched it by now, but I haven't. But I will get to it at some stage. I'm going to say above 50, 50, 50. And I'm going to say 68 again.
85.
Whoa, cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty big one. Look, we talked about Attack, so why not we get to a sequel? What is Revenge of the Kill? I mean, not Revenge, Return of the Killer Tomatoes. I got Revenge here, but it's Return. Return of the Killer Tomatoes, above or below 50%?
Never seen this one, so I'm just going on feels. I'm going to say it's definitely below,
Yep.
and I reckon it'll be lower than the first one,
Mm.
which I can't remember what that was.
27.
Okay, I'm going to say it is 19.
You wouldn't believe this. Big fat goose egg. 0. It's got 0%.
Zero, zilch, nil. Wow.
Uh, all right. Next up, we've got the Steve Martin comedy, The Man with Two Brains.
Yep. I'm pretty sure
Uh,
I've seen that, but I would have seen that when I was a youngster.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm supposed to be guessing stuff, don't I? I'm just
above or below 50.
above 50. I think it was quite successful. So I'm going to go 81.
Man, you got that 78. Very close.
78. Whoa. This is good, Richie. This is great.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't mind being on the other side. It's good.
Yeah. Probably the most more iconic one on this list. What is yeah, I mean, you'll definitely get the first part of the sounds, right? Is Evil Dead 2 above 50 or below 50?
Evil Ted. Evil Ted. I've just
Yeah,
got a new
Evil
Ted
Ted.
movie. Evil
Yeah,
Ted.
Yes, thank you. Look, I'm gonna write to Seth MacFarlane. I'm like, look, like it was. And we do this podcast, and Robert flubbed his sentence, but he accidentally stumbled across a great idea. Evil Ted. Come on, Evil Ted.
I would totally. I'm not a big fan of the Ted movies, but I would totally watch Evil Ted if that came out. I would watch it. Evil Dead 2 is, if you've never seen it, it's a masterpiece of horror comedy. Some of the best scenes and most memorable scenes in any horror comedy there is. The first one wasn't so much of a comedy. I mean, it had funny stuff in it, but it was a bit more of a serious horror movie, where the second one was definitely all out humor. And I'm going to say, yeah, it's above 50. I'm going to go 92. Yep. This is a real classic piece of work in horror comedy genre.
Again, you're around the right ballpark. It's 95.
Whoa.
Yeah. And next one, I know we saw, because we do this other thing where we do our own sort of wheel just for funsies, and this came out at one point.
We just do a wheel for fun on our own.
Yeah, we're party. We're very we know how to party.
We've got so many girlfriends.
Yeah. I'm like, look. I can't watch Mean Girls with you, Sandra. I'm watching it with Karen. I don't know why I picked two old names.
Yeah.
But anyway, we watched this movie, and I thought it was really good, pretty underrated. Final Girls, the Netflix movie. You know where they get trapped in that movie, in the actual movie, and yeah.
Yep. Was Melissa Teo in that?
Miss Leo? No, Miss
Leo.
I'm not sure. I had Adam Devine, Tessa Farmiga. It might have Miss Leo. I can't remember.
I'm not sure.
But
that'd be above 50. But I think it's probably going to be fairly middle of the range. I'm going to go 74.
Boom! Great, you did it. You got it right on the money.
No way! No way!
74. You did it.
I can't believe it.
You did it. All right. Well, you got one left, and you're coming off that high. A movie that I, enjoyed when I was a kid. Probably not. I haven't. And it's probably a guilty pleasure of mine. It's really, really weird. Good stoner horror comedy starring Seth Green and Jessica Alba. Idle Hands.
Did you say you were watching?
I was watching stoner comedy
when you were a kid.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
makes me feel old.
Yeah, be like, my mum and dad didn't care watching stoner comedies and stuff. So it's like, look, just put yourself to bed. There's
your mum's there going,
yeah,
you might enjoy this film, and your dad's there going, do you want some food, Richie?
Yeah, or I'll be like, hey, mom, shouldn't I be going to bed? And then it's like, oh, who said that? Which one are you again? Yeah, okay, you can. Yeah, yeah.
What was the name of the film again?
Idle hands.
Idle Hands. Never seen it. Don't actually really know it. I'm going to say it's over 50, and I'm going to give it 58.
All right, this is the only point where you're kind of off the mark. It's below, and it's 15.
15. Okay, maybe that's why I don't know it.
Yeah. Yeah, so look, I think you did pretty well. You got one right on the right bang on the banana there, but and then bang on the but I yeah yeah it's a weird saying, but I say it but like there was a lot of the ones who were in the right ballpark, so I think you
Are
did
you a
pretty well.
ventriloquist?
Am I a ventriloquist?
How are you saying all this without moving your mouth?
Oh shit! Why? How come? I froze, but you can see me. I don't know how that happened. Hang on, here we go.
It's time to spin the wheel of Chubby Cheese. Richie.
Chubby cheese. Yeah, all right. So to recap, we have action, comedy, drama, martial arts, sci-fi/fantasy, thriller, western, suggestions from website Canstar Blue, 1. Suggestions from website Canstar Blue, 2. They're different. They're the same website, by the way, just 2 lists. Streamers picks.
Oh, sorry. Yep. All
Yeah.
righty.
So, are you ready, willing, and able to spin the wheel?
I'm able and willing for you to spin the wheel and for me to commentate.
Yeah, for me to. Sorry, yeah. I mean, I'm just talking myself up, really.
Oh, sorry. I interrupted
I'm just firing myself
sorry.
up. Can you spin the wheel? You can spin the wheel.
You can do it.
You can do it. You can do it in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, what's it going to be? What's it going to be?
Spin.
Western, say a Western.
Thriller. Thriller. It almost went to Western.
All right, cool. Thriller.
All right. We've got Day of the Warrior from 1996. Last Call from 1991. Death of a Cheerleader or A Friend to Die For. Whichever one you want to call it by that. Unless it's that one big long title. Yeah, so we got 3. So yeah, should be interesting. Yeah, I think. Look, I'm ready when I am. Get it?
I'm always ready when I am.
Yeah. All right. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, what's it going to be? What's it going to be? Day of the Warrior. Day of the Warrior.
Of the Warrior.
Well, cool. Let me quickly check it's there. Once again, I may need spelling help.
Yeah, all right.
Okay. DAYOFTHEW. Oh, it's not looking. Oh, hang on. Day of the Warrior. It's there.
Yeah, I see it there too.
So the synopsis is a breach in a secret agency personal database gives the identities of 4 undercover cops or ops. I think it says here, not cops. Don't know if it is ops or cops. It's one of them. To a victimless crime lord.
To a vicious crime lord.
Vicious. Yes, let me correct my own. Correct my own mistakes. I'm not going to learn if I don't correct my own mistakes.
It's a very G-rated crime lord if he's a victimless one.
Yes,
don't want to hurt people.
A vicious crime lord who tracks them down one by one. It's directed by Andy Sedaris. It stars Kevin Light, Christian Lolita, no, not Lolita, Letela, Julia Strain, Julia K. Smith, and Shay Marks. So that is what we'll be watching next week, Day of the Warrior. It's now time for plugs and stuff.
Yeah, so cool. as we you can find us on Facebook. Tell them they're streaming, and yeah, just look for the photo with me levitating a woman. Oh, photoshopping. Yeah. You can look for that.
Not a woman, it's
give us-
me.
I'm levitating. Yeah, that's right. Anyway,
You forgot I was even on the poster. It's all about you.
Good guy. Anyway, let's tell them, tell the streaming, give us a like. You can stay up to date with what we've got on. Yeah, and then we release a episode every Tuesday or Tuesday, as it were. You can find that on the YouTubes. And that's just telling the streaming as well. So just give us a like, hit the bell notification. If you want to get notified when a new episode drops. We've also got a Gmail account. Tell them they're streaming at gmail.com. Not AU, apparently. Not AU. I said AU last time, but no, you'll be going to someone else, some other person who might reply to your messages. I don't know. But yeah, you can inbox us to see request other movies on the wheel. Make sure that hopefully make sure they're sort of in the vein of like so bad they're good things, like I don't be like, you should go to watch Shawshank Redemption. No, I'm probably not going to put that on the wheel, to be honest.
That's if that gets on Tubi, but yeah,
probably not. But we're not going to like really well known critically acclaimed movies. That's probably not what we're after. So but yeah, more the schlocky B grade so that it's good type stuff. So if you know some of them, or you found something on Tubi that piques your interest, and you kind of think that it would be good to review, hit us up. And as far as me, personally going on, there's again, at the start of the year, there's not much comedy going on, but I will let you know when that. I'll let you know that happens. I've got a like page, Richard Goodacre. You can find me on Movie Hero Network, on Tournament Fights, on Tier Ranker. I do trivia on wrestling trivia and combat wrestling trivia on Chris Cass's Twitch channel, Castifer, and also do wrestling and movie trivia on my friend Jordan Pierce Owen's channel at Pierce Wrestling Co. That just hit us up there, and then that's my plugs, and I suppose you're gonna wonder
what is on your shirt? I haven't even worked that out yet.
It's actually Danhausen.
Oh, it is Danhausen, is it? I can't quite. Oh, yeah, I can see. Bring it up a bit. Bring your shirt up.
There you go.
There we go. We can see Danhausen there now. All right, you're going to love this one. Let's hear an impression of Danhausen, and then let's get out of here.
Well, and until next time. To be continued.
You Danhausen or Woody Allen?
Woody Hausen.
Oh, brilliant.
This is the road to Headstone Manor.
We'll keep an eye out. We'll see another sign.
A lonely road to a place where nothing seems to happen.
We're looking for a place called Headstone Manor. I don't understand. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Thank you. Awfully sorry.
Now there's a new name for Headstone Manor, and a terrifying nightmare is about to begin. Tonight's the night for taking a bath. A bloodbath at the House of Death.
I'd like to report a dead body.
Yes, sir. Hanging upside down from a tree, is she?
I feel that we can put an end once and for all to the suspicious rumors and the mumbo-jumbo that exists concerning this old house.
Stay away from the house of death.
There were 18 people murdered. 2 were struck by lightning. 1 hanged. 4 people skewered in a bed.
And 6 in the freezer?
What?
Join our team at the House of Death. You'll meet with a few surprises.
You know, there's definitely something going on here.
Well spotted, Lucas.
We dare you to spend a night at the House of Death.
Dinner's almost ready. I'll see you downstairs.
You won't be alone.
Someone or something doesn't want us in this house.
Kenny Everett.
It's me, Indomitable.
Pamela Stevenson. And Vincent Price.
I don't believe it. 700 years undead, and now this.
Oh my God! This is the House of Death!
Bloodbath at the House of Death. It took a lot of guts to make this movie.
One blew up, 1 was hanged, 2 were axed, and 6 were frozen to death.
All right, so it was funny. Enjoyment isn't everything.
Hello, Sid Snot here. I was down the park the other day, feeding the pigeons to my cat.